Welcome to the beautiful Moose Lodge in Beckley, West Virginia. Dave, we're here after Masters Week, and we're going to do the show in Masters Talk. We have a great slate of guests lined up. We always like to thank the helpers that we've had over the past few weeks. Dale Wolfley, great offensive lineman. Steve Crozier, baseball extraordinaire. Mr. Tex Williams, basketball guru. Frank Fear, all-around smart guy and author. Mike Dunlap, great friend, hard worker, all about the sports scene. Mark Parsons, Facebook page, he's the man. He's the man. Mike Loving, Big Mike's Wrestling, big supporter of the show. And, of course, Greg Tidd, man about town. I'm Greg Crist. This is Dave Gorby. Welcome to the Courtside with Coach Crist show. What do you think, Gorb?
Wasn't bad. I mean, I don't think Jim has given up the Masters. He's just given up the Final Four.
You don't have to worry about me doing the Masters. That wouldn't work out too good because I tend to lean toward the less serious parts of the stuff, and I don't think I'd be good at that because I wouldn't be able to keep it serious. And I always liked the way he'd done that. Though what got me thinking about that was last week I heard two guys doing a baseball game.
Yeah,
and they decided to do it in their Masters, and it was hilarious. The guy was like, line drive to center field, just beyond the outfielder's reach. Yeah, and they were cracking up. Okay, can you imagine us doing that for real? I said, no, only Jim Nantz can pull that off. Anyway, we are at the Beckley Moose tonight. That was not a joke. And this is the April 13th edition of the show. Beckley Moose has welcomed us in to do the show from their building here, and they got a big shindig going on over across the way. So we're over here in the ballroom, big old room here. Nice place. And Gorb, I know you and I both have spent a little time here eating some food.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you what, good deal here, and the food is great. The prices are extremely reasonable. And I'm going to explain to you how you get to become a member of the Moose and where it's at and all that sort of thing here in just a minute. But we do appreciate the Moose Lodge allowing us to come in and, invade their space a little bit. And we'd hoped to talk to Mr. Bailey. We wanted to get him out here and talk to him a little bit about the Moose. We don't know if he's going to show or not. He said he's kind of shy when it comes to getting on the camera.
He came in here that one time and I haven't seen him since.
Yeah, we were going to try to nail him down on some food, and he ain't been back.
I mean, he seems like a good dude.
Yeah. So we're starving to death, and we can't get any food. But anyway, we're going to have him back in here hopefully in a little bit and talk to him about the Moose. If not, we'll go ahead and tell you about it ourselves. The Moose Lodge is this is the Moose Lodge. The lodge number is 1606. It is located on 410 New River Drive here in Beckley. And when you go past it, you can't miss it. Big parking area for folks, and like I said, when you come in, they have great food, and they have lots of activities over here as well for folks that a lot of people would enjoy, I'm sure, because they have a great crowd here tonight. That parking lot, like I said, is huge, and it's full. And that room over there is as big as this one, and it's full. And so they have some neat things going on. Anyway, to become a member of the Moose, it's a $50 a year membership. So
I mean, that really ain't bad at all.
Yeah. How hard is it? That's $1 a week or less, and a $50 membership, of course, gets you in to enjoy all the festivities. And you can eat food here. They have lunch. They have dinner. They have some great lunches. When I was working over here, Crozier used to bring me here a lot. Him and Tex Williams, and who are both members. So I got to come with them and have lunch several times. Man, I've never had anything here that wasn't good. Everything they have is yummy. And the prices, like I said, are very reasonable, especially when Crow's with you, because he buys, and that makes it even more reasonable for me.
Where's he at?
I don't know why he didn't show up tonight. I think he's got company.
Is he working on that microphone holding or what?
No, I don't think
he didn't go to class on that.
Not yet. I think that might be
why. I
why.
thought we sent him to class about it. But,
I think that's why he's staying away. I think he feels like he doesn't have that mastered yet, and he don't want to step in too soon. Because of that. So we'll cut him some slack, and eventually we'll
go to class, Crozier.
That's right,
please.
Crow. Get schooled in holding the microphones. Not that hard. Last week, of course, we had our what we were hoping to be our monthly segment of Chow Time, and that was awesome. And I think anybody that watched that thoroughly enjoyed Mr. Chow, Jacob Milam, who is he's our I guess a regional chef here. Chow's the chef at Tamarack, and we try to get him on. Try once a month. So far, it's been twice in 2 months. But anyway, he's kind comes on and cooks for us. Last week he fixed shrimp tacos for shrimp he caught himself out of the Summersville Lake. I think is what he told us.
Right.
So that was an entertaining show, and the food was very good. I'll have to give him credit. As funny as he is, as much fun as we had, that daggone food he makes is going good, man. He can cook, Yeah. So, we enjoyed that. We'll have Chow on again here, I guess, 3 weeks from now, I guess, 4 weeks from now, 3 or 4 weeks, something like that. Sometime in the middle of May, we'll have him back on. So we've already told him to start getting his recipe put together so he can be prepared to feed us. And hopefully Chow will do that. And tonight we have a special guest that we're looking forward to as well. As most folks in the area know, the ToughMan contest is coming up in Beckley this weekend, Friday and Saturday, at the Armory, and we're going to have the man who I guess is responsible for the ToughMan in West Virginia. Put us together. Jerry Thomas is his name. We're looking forward to talking to him tonight about the event coming up this weekend and about his he's got a pretty colorful history in the boxing world, and everybody in the boxing world knows him, and it should be a lot of fun to talk to him. Want to also remind everybody that you can like and subscribe us on YouTube. That helps us. The more subscriptions we get, the better it is for us, and the more it helps us, and it gets the word out there more on our show. So please, if you're watching and you haven't done this yet, please like and subscribe on Facebook. Go ahead and hit us a like on YouTube, and give us a like or comment on Facebook as well. That don't hurt us, and we appreciate that as always. Those have been going up some, and we appreciate that. And then, of course, at the beginning of each and every show, we have to go out to our One Eye in the Sky, our New River Network Chopper One traffic and weather update and forecast from Mr. Muggy McLeod. So let's get that started now. Dave, can you locate him? There he is on the helicopter. I hear him.
Good evening, Coach.
There's Muggy.
This is Muggy McLeod with my psychedelic sidekick, Misty Rains, reporting to you live, kind of, with your One Eye in the Sky. NRN Traffic and Weather Team Report.
All right, Muggy. Feeling
My bodacious pilot has us flying circles around Moorhead, Kentucky.
Oh, Moorhead.
With pinpoint precision. We are diving up and down, in and out, all around your mountainous bluegrass state, our neighbors to the west, to see what in the world is going on down here.
All right. Kentucky.
As you are well aware, we are over the campus of Moorhead State University, home of Lee the Superman Hare, and no other really famous people that I can goggle on the interweb.
I can't leave
but
anybody.
It is a beautiful campus with great scenery and lots of great things going on this beautiful day to our west. As we cover campus from above, we see a big line forming at the Krispy Kreme. The Moorhead Krispy Kreme is probably the most popular one around. I have had some delectable treats there a time or two, and I can quite satisfactorily say they will make your mouth water. As we now slide on over to the head of Whistle Street, right at the front door of the gymnasium named after Jimmy Moorhead, the founder of Moorhead, Kentucky. The line is forming for the spring scrimmage game, which seems to be legal this time of year. But with all the changes in the NCAA, who knows? But that scrimmage game will be tonight between Moorhead and the Wichita State Shockers. So if you're not doing anything after dinner, come on out and support your team. Remember, if you can't be an athlete, be an athletic supporter. Now, moving on to the weather, brought to you by the Moorhead Quick Lube, where if you mention hearing this spot on air, the staff there will greet you with a greasy, dirty, oily handshake every time you visit. If you've been outside today, you've noticed that today's weather is about as far away from crappie as crappie can get.
Good weather.
So it's been nice, but enjoy it because I'm sure crappie weather is right around the corner. It won't take long to get from Moorhead, Kentucky to wherever you're standing in West Virginia.
That's right.
Okay, Coach, that'll wrap it up for me and my acrobatical pilot Misty Rains, coming to you semi-live from Moorhead, Kentucky, with your One Eye in the Sky NRN Traffic and Weather Team report. Over and out.
Over and out, Muggy. We appreciate that, Muggy, over Moorhead. Yeah, well,
Is he trying to do the Jim Nance thing too?
It kind of sounded like a little bit, didn't it? A little bit loud for Jim Nance, but he kind of had the same flow, didn't he? I don't know what he was trying to pull right there. I know. Yeah. Anyway, so I'll get the message here. Can't find you live. Let me see. How about now? And I'm assuming that he probably turned it on at 7:30 and I couldn't find it.
Who's
so
that?
We hadn't started yet. That's Gary Griffith down in Myrtle Beach. So what is it? Well, we are recording tonight, so we're not on live. Okay. Well, didn't know that. I thought he said we were going to be live, but we weren't. So change of plans midstream here. Okay. Let me go ahead and answer this then, since I said now. To record. All right. Having to record. Anyway, tonight then we do have Jerry Thomas on. Jerry is, again, the ToughMan guy. Looking forward to talking to him. And you know, the Masters wound up this past weekend. I've always looked at the Masters as being the real start of spring. And since then, the weather's gotten good. Of course, the weather in the Masters was yucky there for a while.
Man, I tell you what.
It got nasty hurry.
Yeah, but like, did the course still look beautiful
Oh,
though?
it was still pretty, yeah.
I mean, it was I don't want to say it, but it was, I mean, like the weather was crappy. It was crappy. And like, I mean, like the course still looked crazy good, except right when they stopped play on Saturday. Their system, which holds water and gets it away, it started to build up too fast on the greens. That's why they blew that horn there on Saturday.
Yep.
But
and they obviously they blew it at the right time because it wasn't long after that tree fell.
And then as much as rain that happened Saturday, Sunday, the greens were still, I mean, moving.
Yep.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I saw a thing on there. They have the greens, something underneath those greens. They got a system under there that draws it out or puts moisture.
Yeah,
in,
well, that's what it was talking about. It was the rain was dropping so fast, it was building up. They couldn't get it away.
Yep.
The one thing I was reading about, and I knew about like way before, but you know, their sand isn't really like sand. It's like from some mountain up in the western part of North Carolina. That's why it's white and it's real. It's sand, but it's not really sand. It's some type of fine quartz. Would that be right? Quartz?
Yeah, something like I remember reading about that one time. It's not. It's not actually sand. It's something else. I forget what they.
I don't know how the dude, whoever found it way back in the day, but they were like, "That's what we need here."
Yep, and it works out pretty good, and it is pretty, you know. But I was reading some other things about the Masters I didn't know. The lawn chairs that you bring, can't have arms on them.
Yeah,
no arms allowed on the chairs. I don't know why. I'm not sure what that would.
Takes up. They want that certain space. The thing about that is, you know, it's so courtesy down there. You know, when you first go in the gate, you can go set your chair wherever you want, and you don't have to sit there. You just have to set your chair there, and that's your spot. So people probably go right to Amen corner or number 16 and or 18, and then they go walk around for a little bit, and then when the golf starts coming that way, that's when they probably go there and watch all the time.
Yeah, the Amen corner, they get there where they can see tee shots.
But can you believe But there's so much courtesy there that they won't lose their spot if they get their chair there.
Yeah, it's unreal. And you use the operative word walk around. Another rule is that, you know, not allowed to run.
No
running, because, you know, you see a lot of these tournaments, they'll run in behind the golfers and fill in the fairway.
Well, just like the hole out in Arizona, everybody wants to get there on the party day. And there's no party day at the Masters. Maybe outside the Masters, there's some functions. And
I thought it was funny, too. No cell phones.
Well, no cell phones, but you can take a camera. But they have those, the old phone set up. But you don't have to pay anything. anything.
Right. Yeah, they're just dial rotary phones.
Yeah.
And I thought that was funny, seeing people there making phone calls, and the announcers were talking, a lot of young kids watching this don't even know what a payphone is. And I'm like, nope, a lot of them don't. But they probably had 50 of them there, and people were using them. I'm not, but I don't understand why you would be at the Masters and you'd have to go get on the phone for. I don't understand what.
I think just to say, hey, guess where I'm calling from?
Where I'm at.
You know,
I would just get on TV and go, hey, guess where I'm at?
And,
like
and,
your
talk,
buddy.
and talk about that. My buddy, he lucky enough, he was on TV, you know, right behind. I think it was number 4. He was behind, and lucky dude, you know, Jake Cootie.
And we were supposed
name
to have
drop him.
Yeah, we were supposed to have him on tonight.
Yeah, I thought he wanted to be on, and
we were going to talk to him about his experience.
You know, because I don't know really many people that's walked the grounds there.
No, and it would have been interesting to hear about his experience, what it was like, how he got tickets, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And
because if he went through the lottery and got those tickets, then that's correct. Because they said it's like a 0.1% chance of even getting that.
Right.
You know, so
and it said $150 tickets.
It's $100. So basically, when you do that lottery, you might as well just go signed up for every day,
right?
Because if you hit, you're only going to get one day.
Right.
And it's $100 for a practice round. Then, like I said, it's $150 for a tournament day. So, or you go on Ticketmaster.com and spend $5,000 on, and then you gotta go explain to your better half about why you spent $5,000 on one ticket.
They also mentioned the fact that the Masters, historically, for this reason, history, and just because they like for people to be able to enjoy it and have fun, the concessions are extremely cheap.
Yes.
Most of those places. I mean, like you go to the Greenbrier, for example. I know when I went, I couldn't afford to eat anything because it cost too much.
Oh,
so I got a fried green tomato sandwich because it was the only thing that was affordable.
It was the cheapest, cheapest thing.
And you can't afford it. But anyway, theirs was cheap, and they showed the prices was, it was like $2 for a sandwich, $1 for a Coke.
I think they got like they probably got a burger and cheeseburger, but their thing is a pimento cheese sandwich and egg salad sandwich.
Right. The other thing what that amazed me was that they don't ask ESPN or CBS for any fees. Mm-hmm. They don't charge them any fees to show it.
Yeah.
I don't know how they decide who shows it. Of course, CBS has had it forever. But I'm sure there's some things they do for them.
I remember when it used to be on USA during the week. During the week. And then it was on CBS on the weekend. And now, ESPN got involved. Obviously, they show the par 3 I can't remember what year they started showing the par 3 contest.
Yep. That was cool too.
And they changed that course up a little bit. They didn't have any par 4s, but I think one seemed different to me a little bit. The one used to be kind of enclosed, and now there's like water right there.
Yeah. Yep.
And
cool.
So
Jack Nicklaus's grandson hit. Was that back-to-back hole in ones he hit? Was that him? Somebody hit 2 hole in ones.
Oh no, it was Power. Seamus Power.
Yeah, that's right. And of course, they showed Nicklaus's. I guess his must have been a year or two ago.
It's been a few years. So Nicklaus doesn't play in the par 3. He says he can't walk around.
Right.
And
this was his grandson.
Yeah, this was his grandson, and he said that was the best thing that's ever happened on the golf course was watching his grandson hit a hole in one.
Awesome.
But you go back to that. Some people. They're like, I don't know why this guy is wasting space. Man, I don't mind. Hey, this was Larry Mize and Sandy. I don't mind. I don't mind. It's not like it's like they're taking up half the field.
Right.
There's only a few of them. Couples made the cut this year.
Couples play pretty good.
And,
I like seeing those old guys play.
Well, it's not like Gary Player's been playing. I mean, he's doing the honorary tee shot, but he gave that up, years ago. And
I know you're a golf man, Gore, but I know you're you like the what do they call it when you're you believe in the old fashioned way of doing things. I mean, I can't remember the word I'm thinking of, but I heard a lady on ESPN. I was driving back up to Morgantown Monday, and I was listening to her, and they were talking about Tiger Woods and him not being able to finish it because his leg was just hurting too bad. He had a plantar fasciitis in his foot, and I've had that, so I know how painful that can be. And this lady was talking about, the golf and everything. She said, we'd like to watch Tiger Woods. She said, granted, he's usually not competitive. He's out there playing. He makes the cut. He plays pretty well. He's just usually not in striking range, especially now after his injury. And she said, but we like to watch Tiger Woods. And she said, people tune in to watch Tiger Woods.
Absolutely, yeah.
He might be 9 over, but people still want to watch it.
Yeah.
And she said, put these people in golf carts and let them play golf. She said, "Why? What's so great about walking? Why is that part of, I know it's traditional, but she said, you got somebody carrying your club, so it's not like you're doing anything outstanding by walking. If somebody's got a leg injury, let them ride." And she said, for that matter, let them all ride. And I'm like, I'm kind of in agreement with that. I'm like, what difference? Those guys are in, and you've been to golf tournaments. I have too. You watch them walk. They walk at extremely fast pace.
I was about to say it's going to be tougher for.
Right, they never slow down.
It's already tough to walk. Like if you go try to follow somebody, it's already tough to do that.
But you got to think, they do that 6 days a week, probably.
Right. Oh yeah.
And they're in top peak physical condition. They work out all the time.
Dude, I think the caddy's got to be. Caddy's got to be even more shape.
Oh my gosh! Can you imagine lugging those big old bags around? And they were talking about the rain day. Having all this crap in the bags, towels and new pair of socks and all tons of stuff in those bags. That bag's got to be.
How many people has a brand new Masters umbrella?
Right. Right. Yeah. Now, all right. What we're going to do here, we'll go out of order just a little bit tonight since we were late starting and we're recording. We can do this. We're going to go ahead and call our guest here in just a moment and talk to him, and then we'll have our athlete of the week. We'll have our audience caller before we sign off for the night. So we hope you'll stay tuned for that. You're watching the Courtside with Coach Crist show. We're at the Moose Lodge, the Beckley Moose Lodge, over here in Beckley, Lodge 1606 here on 410 New River Drive in Beckley, West Virginia. So we hope you're enjoying the show, and we'll be back after these messages. Welcome back to the Courtside with Coach Crist show. I'm Greg Crist. That is Dave Gorby. We're at the Moose Lodge, Lodge 1606 in the New River Drive here in Beckley, West Virginia. We appreciate the Moose Lodge hosting us. We're still trying to get some grub, but we'll keep working on that. And we're at the point in time in our show when we welcome our special guest. We told you earlier a little bit about this fella, and for time constraints, we have a few of those, so we're not going to go into. I usually read the bio and talk about that a little bit, but I'm going to forego that and just introduce the man. Jerry Thomas is his name, and Mr. Thomas, I appreciate you taking some time to join us. You have a big event coming up here in Beckley.
Welcome. Thank you.
We got this event coming up this weekend in Beckley. You're very welcome. Talk a little bit about, first of all, we want to know about you, how you got started in all this, and what your role was and still is today, and what it's all about. Just tell us about the event itself.
Sure, I'll give you the shortest version I can give you because the story begins 44 years ago.
Awesome.
Actually, a little more than that, because how I got started. I have a younger brother that 5.5 years younger who decided he wanted to box.
Yes.
And
people my age remember him too. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay. Tommy Franco Thomas.
Yep.
So, when he first approached me with this idea, I didn't want to see him get hurt, and I tried to talk him out of it, right. And that didn't work, and he did it anyway. And so, after a while, I couldn't get him to stop, so I had to help him, and felt it was my obligation to do what I could to help him. And I started out with, just helping with some publicity stuff, and, helped him set up a gym, and, you name it. And at one point, actually, he conned me into getting in the ring with him, but that wasn't pretty.
How long did that last?
He fought 55 amateur fights and was ranked 5th in the nation as an amateur heavyweight before he turned pro. And then as a pro, he fought 44 pro fights, and it was ranked 6th in the world actually, by the World Boxing Association, and number 8 by the World Boxing Council. But before he got to that point, when he first turned pro, I ended up promoting fights for him. He had problems getting fights, and he'd already went through his amateur career, and so people that actually started and created and founded the ToughMan contest from Bay City, Michigan. Art guy by the name of Art Dorr, and his partner was Dean Oswald, and they were both ex-fighters and were promoting fights, and they actually created ToughMan truly by accident. And long story short, they were having some fights in Bay City, Michigan. It was a pro-am card, I understand, and I didn't know him at the time, but as the story goes, there was a local sports bar that Art and Dean and their friends and a lot of the fans would go to after an event, have a sandwich and a beer and talk about, who fought who and all that. And so one night they were in this sports bar, and they're having a friendly conversation with some people they knew that were fans that went to the event. And so the couple of guys at the bar, 2 or 3 of them, I guess, started talking about some of the fighters, and they named some names, of course, and that they didn't think they were very tough and didn't do very well. And of course you have to understand.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But you have to understand. Of course, they're having a few beers. So so the conversation was friendly, but yet a little bit heated, and got to the point where Art replied to these guys that, well, if you think you're so tough, why don't you get in the ring and show us?
There you go.
And the response was, well, if you would let us, we'll do it. And so the first ToughMan contest was born.
Wow.
And it was only supposed to be one night, one event, just to let these guys get in the ring and find out how it felt. And it was heavyweights only, and it was 2-minute rounds. Visualize this: 2-minute rounds versus 1 minute these days. and 10-ounce gloves.
Wow.
So they rented the local high school gym, and it was in January, very cold night. And I don't know how many fighters they actually had. Not a bunch. I think maybe 15 or 20. And so the event sold out, and it was a huge success. Everybody liked it except the guys that got beat. So uh, they they basically packed it in and wished those guys well and reiterated, now you know how it feels.
Yep.
And they thought that was it, the end of the story. Well, wasn't more than a day or two, people that they knew from the next town over heard about it and called them and said, hey, will you come over and do one of those in our gym? And they said, okay. So they go over there, and the next thing you know, it just spread like wildfire. And they went through the state of Michigan into Ohio. When they got to Cleveland, they did some events there, and they got hooked up with a concert promoter, actually. And he had a friend in Charleston, West Virginia, who was also in the concert business. And so this guy in Cleveland hooked him up with their contact in Charleston. They connected with him, and they did a couple of events before they contacted me. And I guess the experience with the concert guy didn't go real well, because he didn't know anything about boxing.
Right.
And so they heard that I was promoting fights at that time, and promoting my brother. And so they called me and told me the story, and they said, will you partner up with us and do some events? And I knew about it, of course, and didn't know a lot, but what little bit I knew at the time, you're gonna laugh when I tell you this, my opinion was not good. And and I told him straight up, I said, look, I've heard about the event, and I'm really not a big fan of it, to be honest, but if you'll agree to let me put my brother on the card in a pro fight, I'm looking for fights for him, I'll do it. And so we made a deal, and then after that, of course, the event was very successful. And after that, we continued to co-promote for, believe it or not, about 2.5 years, and they kept growing. And at one point in ToughMan's heyday, they were in 44 states, I believe. And so the partnership became a one-sided partnership. I was doing all the work, and so we met and we had a heart-to-heart conversation, and we changed the contract and the agreement, and it became a franchise type agreement in 1983, I think.
Wow.
And so, but the first event that I was involved with ToughMan was actually in 1980. And then we continue to grow in different markets and so on. And then over the years, we partnered up with them and co-promoted 2 world championship events, which were really tremendous events. Unfortunately, they didn't sell attendance-wise as much as the local event, even though it was the best of the best across the country, fighting each other. The very first one we did was way back in 1985. We did the world. We did the world, was just U.S. and Canada actually, but it was billed as a world championship. But it was heavyweights only. We had 66 heavyweight champions from all over the United States and Canada, and it was one hell of a tournament.
Wow.
I mean, it was unbelievable competition. The defending champion got beat. We had, the toughest guys in West Virginia, which we had that time, I think 6 events maybe. So we had 6 representatives from different areas of West Virginia, and all of which who I thought were really tough guys. And of course, they didn't do real well. Mm-hmm. The guy that won it, I'll never forget this name, because you can't. His name is Pete Wabuda. And with a name like that, anyway, exactly. Well, he was real tough, and then he later signed with a trainer named Angelo Dundee, who, as you know, trained Ali and Sugar Ray, and he turned pro. So we did another one 3 years later. I got the bright idea in '88 that we should do. At that time, we had 4 weight classes. We didn't have women's divisions here until '88. So we did. I got the bright idea that we should do a combined tournament, meaning all 4 weight classes, which were 2 for men and 2 for women at the time.
Mm-hmm.
The women's division's weight class was kind of interesting. It broke at 155 pounds. So under 155 and under was lightweight, and over 155 was heavyweight. So
wide range.
Yeah, in fact, the very first, and they said, "Well, that's a great idea, Jerry. Why don't you do it?" I said, "Okay, I'm up for a challenge."
There you go.
So they come in, of course, helped, and we co-promoted, and the event was scheduled at the Parkersburg Big Reds football stadium, right behind the field house where we'd been doing events. Great venue, but it, unfortunately, about a month before the event, the bleachers were condemned.
Oh, gosh.
So we had to move the event after all this work, and we followed the Chamber of Commerce's concert that was also scheduled at the football stadium. They moved to the West Virginia Motor Speedway at Mineral Wells.
Yeah.
And so we were a month behind them, and they had Alabama and a heck of a show, and it was a great crowd, but it created one of the biggest traffic jams in probably Parkersburg history.
Yeah.
I was there. My wife and I went just to see how the venue worked, and of course it's a dirt track and it's clay.
Yep.
Great crowd, but traffic was backed up from the Mineral Wells exit all the way up to almost to the Route 50 exit. If you know where I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's a ways, buddy.
Right.
Anyway, so here we come, a month later, and people are upset because of the traffic jam and is the bottleneck getting in and out of that venue. And I had friends of mine that were hardcore fans that called me and said, "Look, we'd love to go, but we're not dealing with that traffic. We were at the concert, and I'm sorry, we ain't coming." And to add insult to injury, we had all these people from all over the country there to fight. It rained, and it's an outdoor event, and the ring was set up on the track.
Yeah.
Okay, you can visualize this, and it was a muddy mess. I mean, and of course, not much of a crowd. And in fact, that year, a young lady from Wyoming County, from the community of Itman, if you know where that's at.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Sure do.
Yep. Her name is Christy Salters,
Mm-hmm.
and her name now is Martin, of course. But
Absolutely.
Christy Salters won the Beckley event, and she went up there and fought in that tournament and won, I think, 1 or 2 fights, and then she lost to a girl from Steubenville by the name of Andrea Deshawn.
Mm-hmm.
And Deshawn won it that year, and in fact, she won that national or world championship twice. Well, they both turned pro. This is the other part of the story, and the reason why I'm getting to this is because Christy Martin is in Beckley this weekend.
Oh, okay.
And she is part of a movie that's being filmed at the ToughMan contest.
Wow.
Okay.
Awesome.
Friday and Saturday night. They actually started filming today. They're going to film in the afternoon both days and both nights afterwards, and then they've rented the convention center for 2 days after us. We're going to leave the ring up for them and some of the equipment. Christy is one of 3 stars in this movie called Beatdown, and of course it's about a boxer, fighter.
Right.
And excuse me, the producer or producers rather are Curran and Elaine Sheldon, who have done several films. In fact, one of their films was they received an Academy Award nomination. Didn't get the Academy Award, but they did get an Emmy. Wow. And so they've been around, and they know what they're doing.
That's awesome.
Originally from West Virginia, but they're living in Nashville now, I believe. But they have a crew of about 25 people that are going to be there all total. And then we put out a call for I guess they call them not seconds, extras.
Yeah, the extras,
People
right.
be in the movie, but they don't have, there's no lines. They don't talk.
Right.
And well over 100 people applied to be an extra in the movie. And I'll have a small part in it, of course, and some of our fighters. And we have 3 pro fighters from our gym in Clarksburg that are in the movie. And in fact, the producers liked one of these guys who lives in Sutton. His name is Trey Stout, and he's a former amateur fighter, fought ToughMan, and he's undefeated as a pro. He actually ended up getting a big part in the movie.
Wow.
And the lead in the movie is a guy by the name of Lenz Edwards. You probably don't know the name, but he's been in some pretty good sized films and shows. Hunger Games was one of them I can think of, and I'm not sure the other ones, but so it's a pretty, it's pretty exciting, pretty interesting. It's going to be fun, and we're actually going to let them film a fight scene in the middle of ToughMan both nights.
Okay.
And yeah, anyway,
awesome.
But that's Christy Martin. That's a sidebar with Christy Martin.
Absolutely.
And
that's awesome.
Christy went on, of course, turned pro, and the girl that she lost to in Parkersburg or Mineral Wells turned pro also in 1989, and they ended up fighting as professionals 3 times over the course of about 4 or 5 years, or 3 or 4 years. And as you probably know, Christy made the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Oh yeah.
Became the world women's lightweight champion, and she went on after her career of 50-some pro fights to become a promoter and fight manager. In fact, we communicate and talk on a fairly regular basis. But she spent the last week in Clarksburg and mostly at our gym.
Awesome.
They were filming the movie, but anyway, some exciting stuff. So back to ToughMan. So we went on, of course, and expanded, and we've done, in some years as many as 12 events, along with anywhere from a half a dozen to a dozen, believe it or not, pro boxing events. Don't do all that anymore. It's just too much work.
Right.
So we focus on ToughMan now. And then last year I took on another responsibility called Barstool Rough and Rowdy, which we're doing 4 of those. So this year we'll do just 10 events and six ToughMan events. We lost actually 2 of our ToughMan shows during COVID. So we'll do 6 ToughMan shows this year. In fact, this weekend's our 6th ToughMan event of the year. And we'll do 4 Barstool Rough and Rowdy events. Just had one in Charleston. The next one is May 12th in Huntington. So we're staying pretty busy, and ToughMan is alive and well. We received about 300 fighter entries for this weekend's event. Wow. We accepted about 165, and that's, of course, spread out over 10 weight classes, 5 men and 5 for women.
Right.
So it's going to be a big weekend, I think, and tickets are moving and people are excited, and they're excited about a lot of things, about the who's fighting and how many.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yep.
I think there's 20 ring girls signed up.
We hear. I mean, we live in Oak Hill, which is 15 miles from Beckley, but we hear about the event. People excited about going every year. It's the talk of the town.
Great.
And we actually, I taught school for a long time, and I actually had a student in class that won the ToughMan event. I don't remember what weight class he was, but he was a heck of a fighter. His name was Pearson.
What was it?
Cody Pearson was his name.
I know Cody.
Oh, do you?
I know Cody.
He come in wearing his jacket, and I said, "Did you won this thing?" He's like, "Yeah." He said, "I got some film. You want to watch?" I'm like, "Heck yeah!" So in my classroom, we're sitting there with a big screen up, and we're watching the fights.
That's great. That's good stuff.
Well,
by the way, speaking of film. We do a live stream pay-per-view for the event.
Oh, okay.
And it's of course we expanded the production of the broadcast this year, and it's a 3-camera shoot, and we've got commentators at ringside.
Awesome.
In fact, We have Steve Neal from Fayetteville.
I know Steve.
Yeah, we know.
He'll be one of our commentators.
He had his boxing thing there about a month ago at Oak Hill, I think.
I know.
Yep.
Yep. All about it. Yeah, he did well. And and we have Tim Wheeler from Shinston, who's former ToughMan champion, a veteran trainer. In fact, he trains 3 pros in our gym. He's going to be the other commentator, and so we've got a good team there.
Right.
It's going to be interesting. Yeah.
What's the link to it? How do people get into it?
You can actually get the show 2 different ways. There's a link on our website at wvtoughman.com. WV as in West Virginia, toughman.com. There's a link right on the homepage. Then for people who subscribe to a service called Fight TV. Yep. We have a channel on Fight TV. Okay. We just set it up actually, so you can get a couple of different. Do you? Yeah, you get a couple of different ways, awesome. And so it's going to be good. And we expanded the production a little bit, this year, and awesome. Jazzed it up a little bit, with lights and foggers and smoke and all that stuff. Yep. It's going to be great.
It's pure entertainment. I'll just tell you that. It's
absolutely.
Yep. And absolutely. I look at this now, and I'm sure it's a novel idea. I mean, all of us know people or grew up. I mean, I don't do this anymore, but it used to be when I ran around a little bit, went to the bars. You always knew tough guys.
You knew someone.
You knew somebody,
absolutely.
And you're thinking, I'd like to see this guy throw down with somebody. So what a great idea to put him out there and let him do it.
That's what tomorrow.
Absolutely.
That's what tomorrow night.
Like I said, it was a total accident when it happened and started, and it's survived 4 decades and some and. Survived COVID wasn't easy, but here we are 44 years later. It started in 1979.
Wow. Yeah. That's good stuff. I know like Dave said, Friday night, tomorrow night is when you get your
well you get like those guys at the bar, they're thinking they need to step it up a little bit, and you get them out of the way tomorrow night,
Yeah.
Well, I've said
those guys that they just came for the fun of it and are on a dare, which has happened. And, then on Saturday night, of course, it gets a little more serious because you get the tougher half fighting each other, and
I've said you can see that over the years, back when it first started. I mean, I remember watching this forever, but you had those brawlers in there would get in, and they're like me. They would be out there for 30 seconds. They'd be winded and just wailing, trying to hit something, just trying to hit something, And now it's really transformed in. And I see a lot of these people, and I've got another friend that I had in school that also fights it. He may have won one year. Devin Steele was his name. I don't know if you know Devin Steele.
He did.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Devin is fighting this year. He's a 2-time champion.
Oh, is he still fighting?
He's one of the crowd favorites.
Oh,
he's fighting again.
We call him Debo. His nickname's Debo. That's what we call him.
There's always people like you said. There's 160 tomorrow night. You said.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm a high school coach now, so I guarantee there's a couple kids I've coached long enough, so I guarantee there's a couple kids in it. Well, they're not kids.
Sure.
There's not kids anymore.
Sure.
But we were talking about Bubby earlier. You think about Bubby winning, then his was Craddock his little brother or his cousin? Man, Matt Craddock. Do you remember Matt Craddock?
Oh, Matt, I know Matt. Yeah.
Matt Craddock won.
It's been a while.
And then
that's been a while ago.
And then
Matt, I think.
Go ahead.
He turned pro, I think, at one time.
And then their cousin Mandy Ellswick was she won a couple women's divisions a couple years. Yeah. And
it's like
I remember her too.
Their family has a few wins. I know that.
It's like I said. Originally it was these people out there just wailing on each other, out of breath and that sort of thing. Yeah. But now you see them training and really working at it, and it's gotten a lot better and better and better and better over the years. And it's just like Devin. Debo, as we call him, he trains, he works hard at it, and he's pretty daggone good, So,
say what, he's in the welterweight division, which is weight class 140 to 159, and it turns out there are 3 former champions in that weight class, and I think 1 or 2 guys who were runner-up, and that class is loaded. Wow. I mean, it's going to be fierce. Saturday night. I mean, Friday night would be interesting too, as it always is. I call the first night comedy night.
That's fun night.
And, comedy night, fun night. And Saturday night, it gets a little serious, but I hate to jump off here, but
that's fine. That's fine.
We
understand
you.
I have my wife waiting on me, and I'm cooking dinner tonight, guys.
Your time.
So you had to pick it up, and you told us earlier that you had to get dinner back to your wife, and we said we don't want to get in the middle of that. Well, listen, we wish you the best of luck this weekend. Looking forward to seeing it. Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing it.
Hope you guys make it out, and by the way, there are tickets available, and information is on our website at www.toughman.com. So, Yep.
We'll promote it.
Or paper too. Okay.
And
thanks a lot.
Yeah,
guys.
and we'll get you back on again when we have more time, so that we can talk some more about some of this, because it's a very interesting topic, and I know people around here love it, and we continue to love it and continue to watch it, and we appreciate you taking some time with us tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Y'all have a good evening.
All right, have a good dinner. All right, bye.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Jerry Thomas, and like I said, he is known as the tough man. You know,
Sue, he's been doing it since 83.
Yeah,
he said 1983 is when he kind of got into it, and boom.
Yeah, and if you read his history and his bio and stuff, it's pretty interesting. He's got some good stories, and he's a good storyteller. And I'm sure he's met and run into lots of folks over the years, and he's a pretty interesting guy. And he does a good job with this. Like I said, this thing started out really kind of as a joke, not a joke, but like as a funny thing.
Yeah, a funny thing.
Throw these guys out there and let them do it.
The town over said, "Hey, we gotta have that."
People are training, and people are working at it, and people are boxing in it. They're not just out there wailing on each other. So it's turned into a pretty neat thing. All right, let's get a quick break in. When we come back, we'll have our athlete of the week before we sign off tonight. We appreciate you watching Courtside with Coach Crist. Stay tuned, everybody. Welcome back to the Courtside with Coach Crist show. We appreciate you joining us tonight. It's been our Tough Man edition as we've talked to Jerry Thomas, the promoter, owner of West Virginia Sports Promotions, and he takes care of the Tough Man, been taking care of it since 1983, 84, 85, somewhere in that range. Very knowledgeable and interesting guy to talk to, so we'll hopefully get him on again when he's not having to cook dinner. He said he was cooking dinner tonight.
I think we can get the stories out of that guy.
So his cooking dinner was to go out somewhere and buy it. So anyway, we appreciate him taking some time though and joining us. And okay, I keep getting messages here from people about questions to ask, but it's too late now because he's gone. But we'll have him on again and talk to him again. And again, we appreciate Jerry Thomas, and he talked about knowing some folks that we know: Cody Pearson, Devin Steele, Debo. Debo's pretty good. I tell you what, Cody Pearson was good, and he really worked hard at it. He trained, ran, stayed in shape, and he boxed. When he got in the ring, he boxed, and most of those guys couldn't handle it. They'd come in there and wail a few times, be wore out. he'd drop him like a bad habit.
Right. Yeah.
He's pretty good. And again, this is going to be, we didn't know this, but it's going to be live streamed. WVToughMan.com. So we got Steve Neal on here if we'd have known that. WVToughMan.com. You can go on there and there's a link it's a pay-per-view. You have to pay to watch it. The link to the live stream. Steve Neal, that's one of our local guys, Fayette County deputy there that promotes boxing and does boxing. Had a boxing event back in I think it was early March, late February.
Yeah, it was.
In Oak Hill.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And he's a local man, and he's going to be broadcasting. He's going to be commentating on it. So you ought to check it out. Also on Fight TV if you have that, which I happen to have that, Gord, by the way. So I might tune in and watch it. I don't know, pay-per-view. I have to see what the pay is for a per-view. You know, never know. But it's worth it, especially Friday. Friday's a hoot.
Oh, Friday's funny. Man.
One of the questions I wanted to ask him, and I didn't, of course, we ran out of time, but I wanted to ask him, you know, I always had, when I went once, the impression I got was that the people in the crowd had as much fun as the people in the ring.
Oh, absolutely. You know,
and there was almost as many fights.
Well, I was going to say that. You know, when a fight breaks out in the stands, it's funny because he would make a comment. He was like, "This fight's brought to you by the West Virginia State Troopers, the winners of the fight," or something like that. You know, it'd be funny.
Yep. They because they drink lots of beer and they get rowdy. That's for sure. That's why the Rough and Rowdy got his name, I'm sure, than ToughMan. But we have a lot of good videos of when Devin fought. Because like I said, he's a family friend, and my son and a bunch of them would go and watch, and they'd cheer him on and get thrown out like a couple of them would. And but anyway, that's pretty cool to know that that he knows those guys and has been involved. And we're going to try to get him on again. Maybe we'd like to go to Clarksburg and have him on set with us. That would be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That way he could just go on with these stories as long as he wanted, and we wouldn't have to worry about cutting him off and that sort of thing. But anyway, we appreciate him. That'll be a big fun event starting Friday night over at the Convention Center and Armory, and you got to tune in and check it out. If you can't go, at least get on there and watch the live stream. That'll be a cool thing. One more time, we want to thank the Moose Lodge again for hosting us tonight. Moose Lodge 1606. Here on 410 New River Drive in Beckley. Again, $50 a year for a membership here. They are open on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Occasionally they'll have a Sunday event, but their events, like tonight they got a big event going on. They typically have events on the weekends. A lot of dances and things like that. And, as a member, you can come in and eat lunch and dinner, and it's a very cheap price and very, very good food. I've eaten here a lot of times. Of course, I ain't seen too much food I didn't like, but it is very, very good. So we would encourage you to come on over, get you a membership to the Moose, and enjoy some of the festivities that they have over here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. All right, we have our Athlete of the Week, and we got several people that sent Athlete of the Week nominees in this week, but the one we chose, somebody we haven't had before, and some of the ones we got nominees for, we'd had them before, so not that we wouldn't pick them again, because when they do something good, we like to recognize them. But this week's Athlete of the Week is a young lady by the name of Briley Redden. Briley is a softball player from Greenbrier West High School. She threw a no-hitter against Webster County the other night in a 15-0 win.
Oh, wow.
For the Lady Cavaliers, and from what I understand, she's a really good pitcher. I had nominees, recommendations from a couple more from Greenbrier County. I had one from Clay County. I had one from Hyco, and maybe one from Oak Hill. I can't remember for sure. But I had several, and but we picked Briley. Basically, the no hitter, something that stood out to us. You don't see that very often, no matter what level of softball, baseball it is. No hitters are special, and she did take care of that. All right, now we're going to take a break here again. We're out of order just a little bit. But we're going to take a break. We do have an audience caller calling in, and it's in relation to the Masters that we started off with, the Masters tournament. As we know, John Rahm won the Masters tournament, and the caller that I think we're going to have in left me a message earlier today. His name is Tiger Baum, and Tiger Baum is the third cousin, once removed on the father's side of John Rahm. So we're going to talk to him a little bit about, I think, maybe some golf. I ain't real sure. All right, let's get another break in here, give him a chance to park. I think it's his problem. He's driving right now, so we want to give him a chance to park, and we'll come back and have our audience caller before we wrap up the show here from the Moose Lodge in Beckley. Greg Crist, Dave Gorby, thanks for joining us here on Courtside with Coach Crist on the New River Network. We shall return after these messages. Welcome back to the Courtside with Coach Crist show. Let me get this phone out of the way so it don't reverberate on me. We are coming to you live again from the Moose Lodge, 1606 410 New River Drive here in Beckley. $50 a year membership, open Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Awesome place. And we appreciate them hosting us for the show tonight. And we've got things a little bit out of order, but we do have our audience caller who's called in, and this is in relation, I guess, to the Masters. This is Tiger Baum, who is John Rahm's third cousin, once removed on his father's side. Tiger, welcome to the show.
Hello, Coach. This is Tiger Baum. Sorry about that, Coach. I took a shot to the head with a 4-iron one time, and by my girlfriend. It was because I had a girlfriend. Anyway, I don't remember much anymore these days, so that's where I'm at.
Those 4-irons will slice you up, won't they?
Yes, sir, Coach. Slice, pun intended. I'm sure they will slice you up, and if your forehead's a little, if your forehead's a little slick, and the greens are a little fast, it will cause a little drain damage.
I got you. All right. So, what's on your mind tonight?
Well, Coach. First of all, I'd like to thank my sponsors. I don't really have any more these days. But anyway, I had a little sexcapade thing. But I've gotten therapy, and me and my buddies, we wrote this funny letter about it. But I mean, this serious letter. But everything's good. And but the Masters, just finished up, and it finished up without me because I'm a little injury prone, and but it's okay. I hurt my leg walking to the clubhouse from my car. Someone said I'd ran my SUV into a tree jamming to some Snoop D-O-double-G. My buddy Skippy said I did the gritty, then took a slitty. But of course, I don't remember any of that.
Right.
But I am glad, third cousin twice removed, John. They won the green jacket there. He kept those money sucking live guys from winning, and that's okay with me. But I've got my fair share of green jackets and gold jackets, from the other tournaments. But so I think it's time somebody else can have one or two.
There you go.
Those green jackets.
Absolutely.
But Coach, as long as my son Charles and I can still compete in the father and son tournaments, I'll be happy, like Happy Gilmore. I have a son. Yeah. Okay. I did teach Charles there, my son, the easiest shot in golf, and I'm sure your friend Gorby there, he knows the answer to that, right? The easiest shot in golf.
Easiest shot in golf, Gorb. What is it?
What is it?
Yep.
What is it?
Easiest shot in golf.
Oh, when you tap it in.
Tap it in. After you've got the tournament won.
Yeah, right. Well, that's close. The easiest shot in golf really is your fourth putt. But he is right. It is a tap in on your fourth, and you just have to tap it in, tap it in.
There you go.
So Coach, what's worse though than my ex-wife? I think she's my ex-wife, Ellen. What's worse than her hitting me in the head with that 4-iron?
What's worse than that?
Well, I heard what's worse is Lorraine Bobbitt stealing your putter.
Yeah. I'm not sure Gorby knows who Lorraine Bobbitt is. You know Lorraine Bobbitt?
Yeah.
Gorby don't know Lorraine Bobbitt. That's a little old.
Yeah, well, Gorby's a little cockeyed, but he'll be okay.
Yep.
Anyway, okay, Coach. Now back to why I called. Why did I call? I don't know why I called. Anyway, tell that Gorby though, I need him to caddy for me since Happy's caddy Otto isn't available at the Waterbury Open in a couple weeks.
All right.
He'll need to trim his beard a little because he'll give Otto a bad name with that homeless look. But
right.
And bring a cracker. We always need a ball mark. But
there you go.
Okay, well, Coach, Skipper and I, we got to go. I'm picking up my buddy Posey Meister at the country club.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be about back rummaging through the dumpster for some golf socks. But okay, guys, I'll see you at the 19th hole. Wait a minute, is there 19 holes on the course? Anyway, this head injury.
You mean the ninth green at 9 o'clock? It's in 5 minutes.
I'll meet you at the ninth at 9. Where's something nice there, Gorby?
Yep.
Where's some of your nice?
I just may. Let's go make things out of clay. What do you say? Let's go down by to the bay.
All right, Tiger. We hope you get healed up, and we look forward to seeing you at the Waterbury or whatever it was.
Yes, sir. The Waterbury. And we'll try to keep it straight out there, Coach. Like I say, they usually keep that course in great condition, great shape, and should be my turn versus Shooter McGavin.
That's right.
That group.
That's right. All right. Well, we'll be watching. We wish you the best of luck.
Okay. You guys take it very easy.
All right, Tiger Bomb. Talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, bye-bye. Tiger Bomb. Again, third cousin once removed on the father's side of John Rahm, the winner of the Masters. That's going to do it here from the Moose Lodge in Beckley, West Virginia. We appreciate you joining us. Have a lovely evening, everybody. I'm Greg Crist for Dave Gorby. Good night.